All right, you've tuned in for a special kind of disaster analysis today. Forget geopolitical crises, okay? We're diving headfirst into the glorious train wreck that was Session 8 of the Ballads of the Sleepy Bard campaign. Buckle up. Our mission, let's be honest, it's one we embrace with a certain morbid glee, right?
Right.
Is to unearth these gems of, well, sheer incompetence sometimes. The face and palm moments, the utter bewilderment, and those dice rolls that clearly just hated this group.
Definitely. They had it out for them. And to truly appreciate let's call it the artistry of this calamity, we need to meet our performers. Let's introduce this.
Yeah.
Uniquely talented adventuring party by their wonderfully descriptive nicknames.
Okay, leading the charge into oblivion is Felice, the sad kitty bard. Now get this. Father of 9, sells mattresses which apparently don't prevent nightmares, and he's just a walking magnet for magical mishaps, especially healing. Oh, and pits. If there's a pit within 5 miles, Felice will find it. Plus, he breaks mirrors a lot.
Right. Then we have Jin, the Peaches rogue. Small, tries to be sneaky, but mostly seems to specialize in needing rescue. Her success rate with traps is, well, let's just say it's a work in progress.
Yeah, kind of. And then there's Cecil, the limp javelin paladin. Noble soul, bless him. But grace and coordination. Took a permanent vacation. He's developed a legitimate fear of door PTSD, and his javelin throws are, well, less threat, more gentle suggestion.
We've also got Shannon, the mystery-ish ranger.
Yeah.
Rugged, a touch of the Feywild, good for making trail rations, and she actually uses enemy arrows against them, which is kind of neat. But her tendency to take like a long rest mid-fight is unconventional, to say the least.
Definitely unconventional. Then there's Magnus, the winged wizard, our resident arcane oddity. Loves sarcasm, loves his pipe. His approach to spellcasting, especially chromatic orb, is just legendary for consistent failure. When things get hairy, Magnus's plan is usually find the nearest hiding spot.
Bringing a certain volatile energy is Reiki, the chaotic warlock. Undeniably powerful, yeah. Especially with acid. Loves dissolving things. But his decision-making often seems based on, I don't know, the whims of dark powers. Or just pure randomness.
Your randomness sounds about right. And last, but definitely not least in chaotic energy, is the druid, whose name, fittingly for this shambles of a session, seems to have been lost to time. Loyal, usually sensible, but prone to these primal screams about maternal figures when stressed.
Oh, the mother yelling. Right.
Yeah, has a history of stare-related incidents, once turned into a flightless dragon. And weirdly, seems bizarrely resistant to acid. Okay, let's dive into the madness. Part 1, a seemingly straightforward hallway that quickly devolved.
Indeed. Trigger-happy hallway. So Jin, stepping up as the designated danger disarmer, actually kicks things off with a surprise burst of competence. Rolls a natural 20, disables a spike trap. For a second, maybe things are looking up.
But that hope was, like, super fragile. Further down, another trap, collapsing floor section. Jin, again, another good roll, manages to defuse it. You can almost picture her thinking, okay, maybe this won't be so bad. Oh, the naivete.
But her reaction afterwards tells the real story.
I almost died 2 times. I'm scared, dude. You're doing great, bro.
But it would be 20
Keep the
right
good
here.
work, man.
You guys have gone in here.
You got this.
It's scary. I almost died 2 times. That's 2 more than I signed up for, man. It really hits home, The constant stress of being the one poking the pointy things. When does that outweigh the thrill?
Exactly. And providing what I'm sure Jin found super helpful was Cecil, with his unwavering, if totally oblivious encouragement. You're doing good. You got this. Probably echoing down the hall, doing nothing for her nerves, I bet.
Yeah, probably not. And the druid, perfectly summing up his approach.
There are 2 reasons I will move forward. All clear and screams of pain.
Given this party, let's be real, the screams were a much more reliable signal. Is that even a viable strategy, though? Extreme risk aversion with this group.
Probably not. Which brings us neatly to part 2. Stairway 2. Explosion. Even before they got upstairs, Fleas decided to engage in some self-care, trying to mend his bruised ego after some truly awful healing attempts.
Oh, the logs paint a grim picture. A grand total of 6 hit points restored to the druid. A measly 5 to the ranger. I mean, that's barely a paper cut in their world, right? Maybe a hug would have been better. Really shows the gamble of relying on one shaky healer.
Totally. And clearly feeling the sting, Fleas then tries to cast Charm Person on his own reflection. In a mirror, what happens? Mirror shatters, Fleas takes emotional damage.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the ranger, much more practically, just eats 11 good berries.
Oh.
Lesson learned. Practicality over existential mirror chats.
You think? And then, the stairs. Jin, probably still shaky, checks for traps. Rolls a 10. Not quite good enough, it seems. As Jin, Cecil, and the druid start going up, Magnus, showing rare self-preservation, is like, nope, staying down here.
Smart, given his history with fire.
Very smart. Midway up, this unsettling sound, dissolving metal. Jin panics, run. Totally reasonable, as the stairs under them just disintegrate, dissolving into acid, then erupting in flames at the bottom, and the druid tries to run down, into the fire, like a cartoon.
It's pure chaos. But then Cecil, the limp javelin, actually has a moment. Surprising agility, grabs the panicking druid, hauls him up just as the whole staircase goes, limp javelin saves the day moment.
Yeah.
Proves even the clumsy can stumble into heroism, right?
Absolutely. So now we've got Jin, Cecil, and a very shaken druid stuck on the second floor. Rest of the party downstairs. No stairs, and the notes just dryly say, no immediate danger, closed doors upstairs. Famous last words in any dungeon, wouldn't you agree? Which leads to part 3, the rather undignified reunion, a slow and embarrassing rope climb. Especially for Magnus, who apparently has to be pulled up since he never passed gym class. Still clutching his pipe, mind you. Gotta admire the dedication to his vices.
You really do. So once everyone's precariously up there, Jin, maybe getting her nerve back, rolls a 17. Finds 6 acid arrows aimed at the northern door.
Okay.
Well done, Peaches. Found one before it went off. Small victories.
Right, but then Cecil sees the now disarmed door and has this intense Vietnam-style flashback to presumably other bad door experiences.
Yeah.
His slow realization that, yeah, doors can be dangerous. It's a learning curve, isn't it? Even mundane things can get you.
Oh, yeah. And just when you think, okay, maybe some caution now, Phyllis decides the best pre-door opening move is mirror image, creating 3 illusory duplicates of himself. So now you have 4 slightly shimmering, nervous-looking Zad kitties, strategically baffling but hilarious.
It really is. Which perfectly sets up part 4, Reiki's YOLO thaumaturgy. This bit is just a masterclass in impulsive decisions gone wrong. For reasons we'll never know, maybe overconfidence, maybe just warlock logic. Reiki uses thaumaturgy to just open the southern door. No checks. Nothing.
And the log helpfully explains. Thaumaturgy is warlock for YOLO. The result: immediate, painful. The door swings open and bam! A second, totally different set of 6 acid-tipped arrows fires out. Not the ones Jin found. It's like the dungeon designer knew.
Double down on the pain. The chaos is just cries, thwacks. Magnus and Reiki, being closest, each take 2 arrows. Felice and the druid get 1 each. Plus, lovely lingering acid damage starts stacking up. Really shows you got to be thorough, right? Haphazards don't cut it.
Definitely not. And Felice, poor unlucky Felice, takes 6 damage, which, the notes say, is the most he's taken in one go so far in the whole campaign. His reaction, pure gold, poking Reiki with the arrow, asking, why, and apparently workshopping new song titles. Ouch, my feelings, and everything else, and the truly moving Sad Kitty, send milk.
You can just hear the sad ukulele. And amidst all this, the druid, ever practical or maybe just oblivious, immediately asks if there's treasure or healing potions behind the door they just triggered. Answer? Nope. Just a weird bedroom and the smell of acid.
Classic. Part 5 brings us familiar foes and failed spells.
Yeah.
Jin bravely opens the disarmed northern door, and who's there? The same centaur from downstairs, looking remarkably okay after whatever happened before.
Yeah.
Makes you question their previous victory, doesn't it?
Right. And this centaur learned, had an attack ready, hits Jin for 8 damage straight away. She wisely ducks back behind the door. Good call. The enemy adapting. Or maybe just being really persistent.
Meanwhile, Magnus, consistent as ever, tries chromatic orb, and drumroll fails spectacularly. Again, ends up chugging a healing potion instead.
Is that spell just cursed for him, you think?
It has to be. And the druid's contribution, yelling louder and druidic about Mother Flea, still no clue who Mother is. Then Cecil tries to lighten the mood with a terrible joke about being there for the centaur's mother.
Yeah, it gets instantly shut down by the druid, reminding him about his vow of celibacy. Timing, Cecil. Timing.
Some jokes are best left unsaid. Which brings us to the Fiery Peak, Part 6. Fireball Fiesta, Friendly Fire Edition. The Dark Wizard finally arrives. Dramatic entrance. Even more dramatic. Spell choice.
Spell placement, maybe. The wizard unleashes a fireball right into the room, hitting... Okay, get this. Felice, the druid. Cecil, the centaur who just came back in, and himself. A masterclass in friendly fire. You almost have to admire the sheer area coverage.
Indiscriminate is the word. Cecil actually makes his save, surprisingly resilient. Felice and the druid, not so lucky. Full blast. Thankfully, Felice had some temporary HP, that buffer, or it could have been worse.
Still, he sets a new personal record for damage taken. 21 points from 1 hit. Imagine being that sad kitty right then. Really highlights the danger of fighting powerful but apparently very nearsighted wizards in small rooms.
Very nearsighted. Okay, Part 7 keeps the chaos rolling. Centaur chaos and another pit stop. Cecil, maybe fueled by righteous fire anger, hits the first centaur with a massive divine smite, leaves him with just 1 HP. Jin, ever the pragmatist, finishes him off, 1 down.
But wait, there's more centaur? Like something out of a bad sitcom? The second centaur bursts out from under the bed, yelling, "Brother!" in Druidic.
Yeah.
Seriously, what was with the furniture in this place? Who hides centaurs under beds?
I have no idea. Amidst this bizarre reunion, the ranger pops out, hits the wizard with an acid arrow, pops back. Smart. The druid, who was just threatening centaur, #1, immediately starts grieving loudly for him. He didn't have to die. The emotional whiplash is something else.
Really is. As the wizard tries to flee again, Felice gets the zoomies, feline agility zips around, even buffs the party briefly, and then, because of course he does, immediately finds another pit trap. Falls 20 feet. Takes more damage. Pit magnet. It's not a nickname, it's physics for him.
It's destiny. Part 8, wrapping things up. Acid rain and wizardly blunders. Reiki and Magnus are still taking that ticking acid damage from the arrow trap earlier. Cecil lands another big divine smite on Centaur number 2.
That second centaur, perhaps realizing grief wasn't a great battle tactic, retreats into room 3. And Magnus, surprisingly helpful, drops a rope down the pit for Felice. Maybe teamwork is possible.
Maybe. Felice climbs out, immediately admires himself in a mirror, casts healing word on himself with finger guns, priorities, you know. Meanwhile, Jin and Cecil find a secret passage in room 3 and escape.
You'd think. But no, the Dark Wizard tries to use the secret passage to escape, and it leads right back into the bedroom he was just in. His sense of direction is as bad as his fireball aim.
Unbelievable. Finally, the druid, clearly having had enough of this farce, blocks the actual exit ramp with a flaming sphere, trapping the wizard, and scene. That's where Session 8 mercifully ends.
Phew. So what did we learn from this experience? The key takeaways slide sums it up nicely. Finding one trap doesn't mean you found all the traps. Bardic healing. Inconsistent at best. Pits, Felice's natural habitat.
Magically opening doors, bad idea. Acid arrows, they stick around. Chromatic orb for Magnus, still a no-go. Yelling about mothers, questionable tactic, dark wizards. Bad at escaping, great at friendly fire. And somehow the party survived. Mostly.
And it leaves us with some cliffhangers from the until next time slide, right? Will the wizard get past that flaming sphere? Will Felice find pit number 3? Probably. Will Reiki cause more accidental acid damage? Likely.
Will Cecil need therapy after opening a cupboard?
Yeah.
Will Magnus ever land a chromatic orb? Don't bet on it. Will we find out who Mother is? And will Jin ever feel safe checking for traps again? Firm no on that one, I think.
Seems fair. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the spectacular chaos of the Ballads of the Sleepy Bard. And really, to you players, your consistently questionable choices and amazing roles, good and bad, provide just endless entertainment. We are eagerly awaiting the next chapter of Delightful Disaster.